Hello, everyone. My name's Elizabeth, the Education Coordinator for Marlene's Market and Deli. Tonight's special guest we have with us is Dr. Ryan Bland. He is a local chiropractor and functional medicine practitioner. Thank you so much, Dr. Bland, for being with us this evening.
Thank you very much for having me. I love everybody at Marlene's. Everything you guys do is amazing. The food is great, beyond great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And tonight, you are talking about detox.
Yes, I have a very beautiful presentation that I've prepared called Rejuvenate Your Body Naturally with Detox Support by Dr. Ryan Bland.
Woohoo!
So, again, I just want to thank Marlene's for creating this platform and this culture around Tacoma for people with like minds who are interested in elevating their health and wellness. This is just a beautiful thing to have support and community that is there, and it is there. So we love you. So let's get into things. I categorize this as the 10 Detox Commandments. So we're going to go through all 10, and I've made it so that we can integrate this in people who have never thought about detoxing, as well as people who are advanced and have done many detoxes. So the first part in the 10 Commandments is number 1, identifying that things might not be normal. Sometimes when you're getting older, you think about what was life like when you were 16, and maybe compare your 16-year-old self to your current self. And if you feel like you're slowing down, or if there's any kind of symptoms like aches, pains, forgetfulness, itchy, skin disturbances, anything you could imagine, digestive issues, allergies, these things aren't normal, but there are our body's response of dealing with toxins. So the first thing is to identify with this. And for those who are advanced and are in a constant flux like myself, trying to identify what is and isn't normal, they say ignorance is bliss. For those who are advanced, I say approach detox very carefully with, the idea of doing it at specific times, because you go for maintenance for your cavities. You go for maintenance for your spine. You go to your chiropractor, whatever schedule you're on. You put oil in your car at a specific time. So why not at specific times look when you are maybe feeling certain toxic loads, or some people get flu. So maybe a detox would be good during the autumn before flu season hits, or when people get, common colds. Maybe detoxing after New Year's when you've had some food and drinks, celebrating life. There's nothing like it, right? We all do these things. So the first thing is identifying that things aren't normal and that you might be experiencing some symptoms. Number 2 is it's really simple, easier said than done. Number 2, don't put any more toxins in. First step of detoxing is to not tox. Identify the things that are around you that are easily identifiable and try and shave a little off. If you think you're drinking too much coffee, well, you might be. So maybe hit 10, 20%, maybe have it. No one's judging you and your lifestyle choices, but if you are curious, you're probably right. The body knows. The body knows. And you have to listen to your body. So number 3, the 3rd commandment, let food be thy medicine. Find the right foods. Do any kind of testing, any kind of biomarker, any kind of biofeedback, whether it be nutritional response testing through an applied kinesiologist like myself, or me sending somebody for labs. I like to do an MRT test. I've spoke at extent in the last time about that. It tests what foods should and shouldn't be had. I do both with my patients, and I get great results identifying what the stressors might be. If it's not a hell yes, hell no. And it's important, to not live life black and white, but create a good relationship with yourself, love yourself, and you'll feed yourself and want to feed yourself the right thing. And you'll be able to distinguish, which is very important, between what is food and what is fun. Cake is not food, cake is fun. Spicy hot Cheetos, that's fun. I would never recommend anyone to go out to do these things, but sometimes people like to have fun, and there's a lot worse trouble you can get in than ice cream and spicy hot Cheetos, whatever people are getting into these days. So know what the difference is and be real with yourself. Take a moment and take a breath and be truthful with yourself. You're only letting yourself down, cheating on your diet. And it's unfortunate, because we have to feed our gremlin. Everybody has something of a craving, whether it be somebody likes hot sauce, someone likes chocolate, someone likes coffee. You have to know when to feed your gremlin. You have to put it on a schedule. You have to plan things. And it'll become much easier in working with somebody like myself, who I'm able to coach people into slowly shifting, because sometimes you get some information about your health and you want to just rip that Band-Aid off. You want to do this crazy detox, because there's so many things online that you can find about detox, and the information now is just crazy. There's detox teas, there's all kinds of products. And the first thing you need to do is really touch base with your heart. Number 4, a really, really simple thing, and I actually pulled a really interesting report, is drink and bathe in pure and clean water. To get the toxins in, flush them out, gotta have good water. What kind of water are you drinking? Water is essential to your human health. I've heard it at exhaustion, but I have this report that I got from Tacoma specifically, and our water results have 11 different contaminants that they're monitoring. They have 21 total, but the 11 of them they're working with. And it's very, very interesting. You can go online and look it up. There's tons of toxic pollutants in water. So what I tell people to do, find a source of water. You can get different filtration systems. Berkey is a really, really good one. I know I have some discount code in my Instagram somewhere for that. But if you don't want to get a water system, getting glass jars and filling them up at a place that has reverse osmosis would be quite recommended. And if you're bathing and showering, think about the toxins coming out of the steam. You're breathing it in. You're breathing in those contaminants. So I suggest at least to get a filter. And I think that would be a really good step. Do the best you can to get the cleanest water for you and your family. Super easy. Number 5, sweat, movement, opening up your drainage pathways. So the 5th tenet here is drainage pathways. To get the toxins in, you have to be able to get things in and out. So sweating, when we sweat, we excrete different salts and bacterias and waste products, and it detoxifies us, allows the pores to open up. And this is really important. I recommend sweating every day for at least an hour. My favorite place to sweat in Tacoma is Base Fitness. Shout out to Base Fitness. Had to give a shout out to the gym. It keeps the mind sharp, and it keeps me healthy to take care of my patients and my family. And it's very, very important. It's a big part of opening the drainage pathways up. So get out there, find a way to sweat. If you need some assistance, I'm at Base Fitness 6 days a week. They have professional trainers. They're amazing. The best I've ever seen. So check it out. Also, opening up your drainage pathways, some uncomfortable topics is, people sometimes choose enemas, saline enemas, coffee enemas. Sometimes you're in a really tough spot and you can't get the digestion moving. It's time to experiment with something a little different. And sometimes these detoxes, it's not about drinking a tea or having a cool, chic product. Sometimes you got to experience some grossness. You got to get rid of the junk. So I recommend people to look into those kinds of things. Anything that is gentle and easy on the body to help open up drainage pathways to let the toxins out. Think of your body like a car that needs an oil change. When the oil is old in the car, it gets thick, it gets sludgy, and sometimes you need a little help getting it out. Number 6, remove as many chemicals from your life as possible. So there are so many chemicals around us. Like we just talked about the water, the air, you get air purifiers. It's a dirty world out there. So we need to assess what we're putting in. Do you smoke cigarettes? Do you do recreational drugs? Do you drink alcohol? These things could be causing some issues in your life. And these things are the obvious things. But the more intense things that you don't realize are smaller things, such as what cookware are you using? Are you using Teflon? And instead of Teflon, you could use cast iron, stainless steel, glass, ceramic, not ceramic coated. These things add up, like hair gel, shampoos, fragrances, they add up. Makeup, a lot of women, they use makeup. They are beautiful. They look beautiful in makeup. Some makeups have high toxic chemicals. And some even organic makeup, some of them have heavy metals, which I've had some issues with patients trying to detox metals. So it's really important. Number 6 will guide you on what kind of detox you want to do. Are you wanting to detox from metals? Are you wanting to detox from mold? Is it metals from your environment? Are you a mechanic exposed to these things? So you want to remove these chemicals and decide what kind of detox. You can do more than one at once and attempt to, working with a practitioner. And I recommend, and I usually do everything at once that I can do. But it's important to decide what you are actually wanting to detox from. And I've seen everything from metals from amalgams, moldy homes is common. If you have a wet basement, you have brain fog, that's a red flag in the Pacific Northwest out here. So number 6, remove all the chemicals as possible. Number 7, I'm going to say it again, exercise. Even if you found a way to sweat, find another way to sweat. You got to keep sweating and flush the body and lungs out. You got to keep moving. You can never stop moving. I can't stress it enough. It's such a big part of care that falls short. And the reason why it falls short is because a practitioner can't be there for you. I can just make the recommendation. I can send you home with a cool video that I made or a great workout plan to hit the weights. But when it comes down to it, the exercise, you must exercise everything. It's not just exercising your body, it's exercising your mind and your spirit. You have to exercise everything when you're detoxing because it will test you. Now, you've made all these decisions to decide to detox. Now, number 8 is testing. When in doubt, get a test. What is going on in your body? Most times when I ask people, when's the last time they got a blood test? It's they give me a mumble. And I say, well, how long? And they're like, 1, 2 years, 5 years. It's important to stay up to date on your labs. Complete metabolic panels. If you're looking for acid aldehydes to see if someone has a bad candida problem, you have to exhaust every measure. And like I said before, with the food, we all eat every day for the rest of our lives, pretty much, most of us, until the day we die. Wouldn't it be beneficial to just know once, twice a year that you're eating the right food, that there's no guessing, you're just, all right, like you eat it every day. You have to take into account that a lot of the times most people are guessing on their diet. And the difference between guessing and not guessing could be the difference between you feeling, and I feel amazing, this is great, I can't believe I removed these 3 things and that was it. So I take out the guesswork using these labs. And it's really important to know when we're testing, are you even healthy enough to start a detox program? Because when you detox, you expose your body to chemicals, toxins, bacteria that have been living protected. And when you expose them, you could have what's called a Herxheimer reaction, or I like to call it a healing crisis, where you start a program and you might have gone too fast with yourself, or it just was too much too soon. Sometimes you don't know, and you feel a little worse before you get better. You have a bout of kind of a stomach issue or a head cold. So it's important to examine the patient, do a really intense health history and examination, visceral, checking their organs, neurological, orthopedic, to determine and rule out everything that could be a problem or a danger to the detox. Because left to your own devices and our own devices, sometimes, you could end up doing a detox and think you've done it successfully, and then during the refeed portion of it, towards the end of it, you just don't go from detox to McDonald's or the pizza parlor. You go from detox to Marlene's for like a soup or like a bone broth. You gentle. So testing, labs, like labs. Just get a quick test. It's a couple of bucks. It takes 15 minutes. Yeah, needles are a little scary, but knowing a couple times a year what really is going on is imperative to your success in any of these programs. And number 9, supplementation. Supplementation is amazing. Our bodies are equipped to handle toxins. However, there's nothing wrong with using efficacious doses of supplements to aid in the detox process. I use all kinds of supplements to leverage better health and stronger livers during this time. Glutathione is a master antioxidant if you want to buzz one. NAC is also really popular. That's great. Takasumi, which is a chelated bamboo, that will soak up some stuff and protect your body in terms of detoxing. But supplements are a big part of the detox program. And that's why I put it at number 9, because when you think detox, you think product, you think standard process 21-day program. It's probably the best one that's cookie cutter. It's pretty good. And then you have all these other ones. And, I can't tell you, if I had a dime for every time somebody asked me what I thought about this specific detox program, I would be able to send everybody's kid in Tacoma to college. So, there's just so much junk out there. And if it's a cookie cutter program, it wasn't made for you, and it's not meant to be if you're listening to this. Because I'm going to tell you this, you deserve to have something that's designed for yourself. And a lot of these things, they cost so much money, and you're doing it on your own accord without medical advice. And you would probably be saving money working with a healthcare practitioner. Some of these things that people bring in that they said they tried, it's disgusting how much some of these programs are. Insane. I can't believe some of the asking prices. So supplements, it's really, really important to take supplements. Make sure you're getting your supplements from the right kind of source. I say this ad nauseum. I'm annoyed with myself. But if you're leveraging supplements to create a better health, it's important to get them from the right source. Amazon and eBay is not the right source. Get them from a trusted place. I have supplements. Marlene's has some supplements. Get it from somebody who has licensed professionals. I know Marlene's has a naturopath affiliated with them, right? Is that correct? I know they have people in and out of there who are professionals, and I've seen supplements I've seen their supplements, and it's the real deal. But if you're getting it from Amazon, who knows who the seller is? I see people with all kinds of stuff and fake bootleg. I see it a couple times a month, and we laugh, we throw them out, and we learn from our mistakes. So make sure you're supplementing. And the supplements is also a part of the testing. The testing micronutrient profiles will determine, Do you really need all that vitamin D you're taking? Are you really taking zinc because you need it, or are you taking zinc because someone online on a YouTube video said it was fire, or it was the right stack? So I support using biofeedback as well as testing, laboratory testing, to determine the correct supplements. Otherwise, it's a guessing game. So the next thing is number 10. And probably one of the most important things, it's the mental side of the detox. So before you detox, you must make sure that your relationships and your mental health is good. Mental health is a big thing. We usually kind of forget about this one, and it's like the biggest thing. It's the central nervous system. As a chiropractor, I have the philosophy of viewing the whole system, the whole life, through our nervous system, and everything that goes along with the nervous system and its health. And it includes our relationships and our mental health. When you do a detox, you will be tested. To do a true detox, you will be removing foods and taking supplements. You might be at a caloric deficit. It might be a juice detox. You are going to feel it. You are going to feel tired, a little cruddy, at least the first couple of days. Some people are champions, but me personally, I could be a real grumpy guy. And I've seen grumpy guys and gals as they go through that. So you need to examine your relationships, because you're going to irritate people around you, as well as yourself. It's going to be a difficult thing. So you need to do everything to lighten your load in your mind. And be kind to yourself, and find ways to examine your mental health through talking about your feelings and working things out. That's a really, really important thing. Also, meditation is something that we've done at our clinic. And a big part of mental is also the planning. You got to plan everything about your detox. The biggest issue with a lot of people, why they're not successful with their detox, is because they weren't ready for it. You have to food shop. You have to prepare the food. You have to have extra food ready just in case you start to drop and you feel a little weak or something, because it could be too much too soon. You do not want to go there. Setting alarms to remind yourself to take supplements. Taking your supplements at the right time is very, very crucial. Doing everything in the right time, it's a mental prep game. The detox is all about being in that specific mode of taking everything that does not serve you and putting it aside. And when you put those things aside and you are working on yourselves, that's why you need your mental health and the support system and healthy relationships to push you further and say, hey, you can do it. Or, dude, you look a little pale. How about we get some orange juice? That's what that is all about. It's all about the community. So meditate, set your intentions. And when you're detoxing, go slow, be kind to yourself. Instead of setting a really intense goal, go halfway or a quarter. If if you've never detoxed and you want to do 21 days, start with 5. If you were thinking of a juice cleanse, do 2 day, do 1 day. You can do a 1 day detox. Nothing has to be a whole event. We live in this world of social media, and everyone's like, look what I only ate, eggs and apples for 40 days. Look at how good my skin cleared up. And then everyone wants to do the egg apple diet. And, it shouldn't be like that. It's all individual. We should all celebrate our individuality. The more we come into ourself, the easier it will be to remove the things that are not of self. So with that, I would love to open up a forum to some chats, discussions, questions, comments, concerns, anything. Okay.
Folks, don't be shy. This is a good moment to unmute yourselves or enter them into the chat box. I'll check the Facebook live stream too.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, yeah, I think I have something. Okay. What is the best test to get? That's a good question. The best test. I think it's good to start off. If you don't know anything about the patient, start off with a complete metabolic panel just to determine if things are going the right way or wrong way, depending on if their age, if they're an older woman. I love to check the thyroid. There's a lot of thyroid issues. I see tons and tons of people with thyroid issues, especially older women. If it's an older man, I check his testosterone, his PSA, which is for his prostate inflammation. I recommend that everyone get an MRT test. It's just good to know. They test for almost like 200 foods, and they give you like a really great printout and a card that you could put in your wallet to, like show people at restaurants, like, hey, there's no way I can eat, shellfish right now. It kind of takes you out of the equation a little bit, so you don't have to be kind of naggy. But hey, everyone's an individual. You celebrate that. So, I order. It's a very funny order when I order. I'm the big pickiest eater because I don't want any of the junk on it, on my food. What else do we have? What's my view of colonics? Colonics are good. If you have a great place to go and you're comfortable with that, I would go. I don't want to be taken out of context. If you are relying on something like that all of the time, it's not good to rely on anything all of the time. So if that's kind of how you're relying on getting things moved, I would come give me a call. I'll help you out. But it's good every once in a while. If you're doing a detox, it's a good way to start to get some of the matter out. A lot of people don't realize it, that you have an ileocecal valve in your large intestine. It opens and closes. And this ileocecal valve is actually resultant in a lot of body pain, because when that valve closes, the food goes back up into your system, toxins, headaches. It changes the osmotic pressure gradient in the body. And I've even had people that had issues with their guts have back pain that had nothing to do with their backs, and even carpal tunnel patients that had no actual carpal tunnel. It was an osmotic pressure gradient of this ileocecal valve. So you give them the diet, fix the valve, a couple supplements. So don't rely on colonics. There could be some sort of valve that could easily be fixed. I see this so often. There's all kinds of hiatal hernias and other hernias you could have in different organ. I do specific technique of applied kinesiology. It was like bloodless surgery. We're able to kind of put the hiatal hernia back in. Sometimes the esophagus goes up and the stomach comes up. You need to push everything back down. Moving on, what is the best food allergy test? I like the MRT test. Otherwise, we're going to go IgG. But I go with MRT. If you're coming out of my office, it's IgG. The IgG is not an option. I think it's not the greatest thing. The MRT tests for so many different levels of inflammation, IgG, IgM, all the I's. So that's important. All that crazy science talk. How often would I recommend someone to get body work, massage, lymph, etc.? It's patient to patient. Average person, every 3 weeks. No questions asked. Me personally, I get a massage once a week. I get adjusted once to twice a week. And I have been my whole entire life. So it's up to you. In applied kinesiology, we adjust, we work with the lymph, and we work with the meridian system, some facilitating muscles, as well as adjusting bones and extremities, which is really awesome to get all the extremities in. So it's up to you, and it's up to where you're at with what your health and where you're comfortable. I give people advice and I hold their hand the whole way, and it's up to you as the patient. We practice what's called body autonomy. Your body, your choice. I'm going to give you the best advice I possibly can. I am just one person. I have a whole team of people that help me, so I assume that other people should do the same. Get a whole team of people. Add me to your team. You have a good fighter in me. But you should be definitely touching base. If you're asking the question, you definitely need to keep up with it. It's definitely very, very important. It's a keystone of my life. Here we go. Next one. Can a detox help relieve acid reflux? Yeah, absolutely. A detox curtailed specifically to you. If we identified what was causing that acid reflux and we removed those toxins, that would be the perfect way to remove that, as well as making sure you have a sound structural system, and all those valves that we were talking about are all okay. So a great thing about working with me and people like me, applied kinesiology and functional medicine, is we're addressing things in the laboratory and scientific, molecular world, but we're also looking at the physical limitations of your body during the detox. Would you want to start a detox with a bone out of place that's affecting your large intestine, or would you want to start a detox with an issue of a valve that just needed a little bit of lymph work or massage? No, it wouldn't be ideal. How often should you detox? I would like to I personally think it's up to the person. But I like, if I had to give like an answer, I think a really cool answer would be working with the seasons or working with like the moon. You don't realize it. We have a circadian rhythm. I'm all about trying to do the same things at the same time of the day to build up the rhythm. Your body loves rhythm. Your body loves rhythm. So you should support the rhythm. Tone is the expression of the world. The way things move helps express the tone. So it's important to give yourself a rhythm. I like rhythm. Here we go. Can you repeat on how to work on a hiatal hernia? If you have a hiatal hernia, I'd recommend going to see somebody. There's nothing I can really tell you right now to change it. I can't really give you medical advice about your, a certain condition. I don't want to steer you the wrong thing. I don't know why you have it or exactly what kind of hiatal it is. So message me privately, find me on Instagram, and I'll get to know you. Oh, your dad is too old for the surgery. Yeah, I see. Great. So I see okay, so now this makes a lot more sense. I apologize. So yes, I work on a lot of hiatal hernias. I have a lot of old patients. I have specifically a really elderly woman in her 90s who I work on her hiatal all the time. I work on people in their 40s, their hiatal all the time. And they're the most thankful patients because you keep them out of surgery. When it's bad, you fix it. It's better like that. Sometimes it takes a couple of visits, but usually for people who are doing all right, you snap back quite quick with that. So if your dad is too old for surgery, I've seen a lot of patients in very old age. The oldest patient I have seen was in their hundreds. So they fared quite well. So bring your dad in. Let's get him out of pain. What is the best detox herbs for someone with an autoimmune disorder? The best detox herbs for autoimmune. With autoimmune issues, one of the biggest gripes is dysbiosis, and dysbiosis, leaky channels in the gut. So when you eat food and vitamins, things just go right through. So I would figure out what kind of dysbiosis they have. And I like to use a lot of Supreme Nutrition products. I would say I like to hit things hard with something like golden thread, or, if you got lymph stuff, Mangista, Morinda for fungal stuff. There's so many things, but I like to have these ideas, look at the labs, look at your health history, and then muscle test you to see which of these are the best choices, which one are you going to be the strongest on. So I wouldn't do it blindly. I'd find an AK guy and, figure out what you like, or let him test you on whatever they have over there and get tested. What's really, really interesting is I have patients bring in samples of air, water, foods, deodorants, and we test them. And a lot of the stuff people are taking in terms of their supplements, I had a woman bring in a bag. Some people bring in bags of stuff. I love it. Bring in the bags of stuff. The more, the merrier. And it just shows you, out of all this stuff, 75% of what seemed to have been 100 supplements were garbage. And the other 25 things were different foods that they were using, and medications and different things, skin creams, gels, shampoos, stuff like that. It wasn't all supplements, but a lot of the stuff people come by and bring supplements, they don't test poorly. Stuff from like Walgreens, Kirkland brand from Costco, it's junk. Getting junk vitamin C things that have tons of sugar in it. If you're getting something that says it has vitamin C and you're not buying it from like a real health food store, ascorbic acid is actually synthesized from GMO corn. So, I mean, eat the orange instead. Get an organic orange from Marlene's. Spare us all. So I thought that was a pretty cool answer to that. So muscle test. Do chiropractic adjustments help the body detox better? Yeah, chiropractic adjustments will connect the brain to the rest of the body and the nervous system. We're one gigantic spaghetti monster. Think of this. Your brain and nervous system is just one neural wire connection. You're just a big thing of wires. You're like a computer with a big thing of wires that controls everything. So what wouldn't be a better way to start off a detox with a balanced body and a balanced mind? Perfect, right? And then the detox is the toxin part. And that's what after we work on the body, we figure out the foods, we figure out the correct supplements, and that's it. Very, very simple. Wow, that was a lot of questions really fast. Okay. Anybody else? One last chance. All right. Well, that seems to wrap it up for today. I would like to thank Marlene's again for just a lovely evening and support to the holistic community out there. So I hear that we're going to be back in 2022. So I'm looking to see some of you in the clinic, looking to meet some of you, looking to hear some of your detox stories. So if you have any cool detox stories, or you got anything great out of this, shoot me a message. I love feedback. If you thought something was horrible or I was incorrect about something, teach me. I love to learn. We're all human. We're all in this together. Let's realize that we're all brothers and sisters and just love up on each other, because that's what it's about. It's about love and community, baby. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bland. That was an amazing presentation. Thank you so much. Everyone take good care.